Hey, what's up, guys? This is Emphasis from Ravens Over Everything, and I'm back with a quick preview to the Ravens and Broncos game. So, this is a game. I'm also going to get into what I think the final score is going to be. So, this is actually going to be a pretty interesting game because we're getting ready to play the Broncos team, which it looks to be a pretty solid team, but at the same time, a lot of people have a lot of questions with them because of the fact that the three teams they beat to start the season off have all been bad teams. So this is going to be their first test of the season, and I also think it's going to be a good test for us as well because again, they're a pretty solid team. Like, even with them playing bad teams, like, I think they have a good defense overall. Like, and as it stands right now, their defense is better than ours, but I still think we're gonna come out of this game with the win. We have injuries too. Obviously, we've had them before the season even started, but the Broncos also have some injuries too. They have some injuries to like one or two wide receivers. They have some injuries to some key players on their offensive line, and I believe they also have a couple of injuries on defense, but I don't remember who exactly. But either way, I do think they have enough injuries to where we could take advantage of that, and that could be very interesting. They have a good pass defense. However, some of the quarterbacks they played to start the season are like Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, and who was the other team they played? They played the Jets, the Jaguars, and Daniel Jones. So it's like so the Giants, yeah. So they haven't played a passing. They haven't played a team of our caliber yet, so I believe we're still gonna have a good game passing as well. I think they're gonna come into this game with a similar approach to what they did with the Chiefs, but they're gonna try to just run it down the team's throat and just make sure they continue to be aggressive and eat up time on the clock. And for the players on their team that aren't injured, that are gonna play, who are gonna have to take more responsibility, they're gonna probably want to wear them out with their running attack. I could see that. Obviously, Von Miller is going to be like the main person they're going to have to zone in on and really maybe even double him if necessary. Because again, it's really interesting to see that Von Miller is still this good at this age. Like, he has 4 sacks to start off for the first 3 games of the season. But, I mean, yeah, man. So I still think we could do really well against their defense. Not just running the ball, but also passing it because, not again, but I didn't say this point yet, but I do believe our receiving core is gonna be very eager to redeem themselves and get back on a good foot, specifically Hollywood. Because a lot of people were saying, oh, we should trade him, and oh, Rashad Bateman is the wide receiver 1, which again, I have high hopes for Rashad Bateman, but we gotta remember this guy's a rookie. Like, let's not just throw Hollywood under the bus. That doesn't make any sense to throw Hollywood under the bus when the past several games he's been, from last season going into this season, he has shown that he's steadily getting better and better. Like, the part that gets me excited to start the season off is the fact that our receivers are getting better separation than they ever have in the Lamar Jackson era, especially Hollywood. So again, it's just, I think he's going to be very eager to really just not only get some good catches, but also if they take some deep shots, I do think this game he's going to do whatever it takes to make sure he pulls it in and not drop it like he did last time. And I think that applies to everybody because again, and I've made this point in many videos, because this was a problem last season and the season before too, is we have some of the highest drop rate. We have like the highest drop rate in the league, or one of the highest. But I do think our receivers are going to get back on pace. I mean, they're going to get back on track. I'm really excited to see Tyson Williams get a full game of opportunity, like, because Tyson Williams has gotten a lot of opportunities, but not as much as I think he should. And I don't know if it's because they feel he's not as good at blocking, or if it's because maybe he fumbled like once or twice, or just because they just prefer to give it to vets. But you can clearly see Tyson Williams is our best running back. So I would like to see a full game of him getting, 15 to 20 rushing attempts instead of, splitting up all the rushing attempts among, like 5 different runners. So that's going to be interesting to see. I think I still think this is a game where Lamar can again throw for over 250 yards. I think they want to, like, because my main critique going into the season was I want to see Lamar get the opportunity to pass the ball more. Again, we don't need to be a team that passes it, 58 times a game like what the Steelers are trying to do with Big Ben right now. Like, we don't have to do that. But all I said is, if you could just get Lamar to where he's averaging like 30 to 35 attempts, again, it's game over. Because you already know our running attack is going to still be top 5. And that's exactly what it seems like. That's the pace they're on right now. Because as it stands right now, going into this game, they are like, Lamar's averaging about like 29 attempts right now. So I'm really excited to see. I'm not sure why I'm talking so fast. I guess I'm excited for the game, but I'm really excited to see, how that continues to grow. I think our defense will have a much better game. Specifically our defensive line. Several of our key players who were out last week because of the COVID related stuff or whatever, they're gonna be back in the game. So I'm really excited to see that. Plus, again, there's players on the Broncos offensive line who are going to be out. So I think there's something to take advantage there. As far as the Broncos offense, they got some really solid receivers over there. But at the same time, and then Teddy Bridgewater is pretty solid too. I don't think he's the best of the best. I think he's like a middle of the pack kind of quarterback. But that's not a bad thing either. That's not a bad thing at all. So I'm actually happy for him to see he really found the team that, at least for now, looks like they're gonna ride with him. But I think we could really throw them off their game, and again have a, I don't want to say an easy win, but I think we're gonna win by a bigger margin than people give us credit for. I'm seeing a lot of people say that they only think we'll win by about 7 points. I think we might win by like 10 to 17 points. I think the final score could be like maybe like 34-17 or something like that. But also something else that's slightly unrelated that I wanted to just touch on before I end the video. I saw news recently that allegedly teams are reaching out to the Lions defensive coordinator, asking him how did he stop the Ravens. Like, when I heard that and when I read that, I was like, nah, there's no way that's true. There's no way coaches are that stupid. Because that's the easiest way to let people know you did not watch that game. Because again, that defensive coordinator did not stop Lamar Jackson and the Ravens. The drop passes that the receivers dropped last week because they had a bad game, that slowed the team down. Outside of that, they wasn't stopping anybody. Even on a bad day, we still rushed for 116 yards. Even on a day where there was a bunch of drops, Lamar still threw for 287 yards. Like dude, they're not stopping anybody, dog. I don't know who in their right mind is reaching out to the Lions defensive coordinator asking for advice, but I don't know, man. Either way, let me know what your thoughts are as far as this upcoming game. What do you guys think is gonna happen? Do you guys think we're gonna win? What do you think the final score is gonna be too? Let me know in the comment section below.